All right.
That makes more, because I noticed that I'm not good at pointing it. It needs to be pointed. So a lot of times we're looking at the wall or something. Lorelei, Laura.
Oh yeah,
Lorelai's not me.
we are already live.
There we go. Yep, we are live. Oh, I can see somebody's tail.
Oh, I know where I'm seeing that. There we go. Now, trying to get the best angle for this. It's probably that. Yeah. Let's see. I drag it down a hair, but we got to get sugar in there too. I had to get the camera where we want it. There we go. All right, Lorelei, what are you doing over there? Someone is following me today. No, I stepped on a pine cone. That's not good. Yeah. Hey, you. You want the
Eleanor,
elevator?
can you set Lisa's comment free? With me, it's always saying failure.
Yeah, no, it says error for me as well.
Oh, no. We are sorry, Lisa. We see your comment, but because it has so many emojis, I think Google blocked it for us. So, and at the moment we cannot set it free. So, sorry. So many people are already here. Voice for Animals, Lisa Banerjee, Rita Boller, Dirty Birds Inc., Cheryl Kincaid. Oh, member for 11 months. Congratulations.
Then for Cheryl.
And Zuri Stock Crazy and Falcon Zoo. Wow, so many people.
Hello, everybody.
Andrew, do you want an elevator? I hear you, KK. Mander, hi everybody. It's Chloe's Sanctuary Socialization Room. A little too cold to be outside. Not just cold, but windy too. We've got,
must have something to do with the flowers, I think, Lisa. We are terribly sorry, but YouTube is bugging us.
Yes.
Yeah, often if you use a lot of emojis, it hides the comment. But
yeah, but this time it were only 2, and I don't know, but must guess YouTube has problems again. Yesterday I was trying something out, and everything I did was so nope.
Screwing up again.
Sorry there, guy. Those are in my back. Ouch. I think that was the one that was hurting. Do you want an elevator? You just want to stand down there? Okay.
Oh, we already have some questions from the viewers, Don. So whenever you're ready, we'll fire away.
Oh, I'm ready.
So Nicole in Service Dog Gracie wants to know, how old are all the cockatoos? Well, that's the question.
Yeah, so do I. We honestly don't know, because they're all rehomed. So we don't know how old they are. Other than Lorelei. Lorelei is the only one we can be sure of.
And some of them we have better guesstimates than for others.
Yeah. Right, Lorelei? But we don't want to tell your age, do we? No, because you like to keep that secret. You like to keep it
Amanda's
secret.
coming over. And someone else is on the floor too. Is that KayKay?
Yeah, Lorelei's 14 or 15. I'd have to look it up, but she's I got her in 2008 or the end of 2007.
And you got her as a chick still, so hence we know her age.
Before I knew what I was doing, I wanted to get Chloe a baby because she couldn't have one. And Chloe raised her until she started showing interest in males, and then Chloe wouldn't have anything to do with her. Yes, Jazz.
So I hope I have everyone greeted in chat. If not, please complain.
And we think Sugar is the oldest, but we don't actually know, but we just get that feeling about her.
Yeah, she acts like her grandmother, don't you, kid?
And who's trying to take off from the one cage in the corner? Oh no, now it's climbing down.
Yes, bird.
And we know that
Good,
Salamander was adolescent when he got there, so we have a rough age for him.
Yeah.
So he's in his early teens as well.
Yep.
Let's see. Did we already talk about dirty birds in his question or her question?
Not yet. So you can read that one.
When could I expect my 33-year-old umbrella cockatoo Ace to get a little slower from age? Oh, maybe we're talking about that because of the age of the cockatoos.
Right. Good luck. They don't generally slow down much, which is good. They stay high, KayKay. They stay pretty agile through most of their life. So it's hard for veterinarians even to tell how old they are. They can make a pretty good guess after they're gone, but not while they're alive. Right, KayKay? Yeah. You hiding down there, huh? What you doing down there? Yeah.
And there was a follow-up question as well from Dirty Birds who said, when do your birds start getting health problems? I don't know if that's to you specifically or just to anyone, but yeah, you can answer that one.
You know, that depends a lot on how much exercise they get, whether they get flight, and what kind of a diet they're on, for the most part. And then there's always the random issues that can be there depending on how well they were fed when the breeder had them, and they tend to want to make money, so they don't feed them that well. There may be an exceptional breeder here or there that actually works on giving them the proper nutrition, but usually they're just trying to get them, wean them as fast as they can and get them out and make money. A lot of that has to do with how they're fed and the exercise. So, and then there's the genetic question too. Sometimes these birds are bred a little too close, and that can cause problems too. What? You agree?
And obviously, infectious diseases you can catch at any age, really.
Yeah, at any time. Yeah. And some of them, they'll actually be resistant to them. They could be exposed to a bornovirus. It can be in their system and never get a foothold until they get weak at some point. So,
I think one thing about Dirty Birds Inc. he says, amazing, but will they hide health issues? I think since they are prey birds, they always try to hide health issues. If they're young or old, doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. They will. Prey animals hide their illnesses, because if there's a predator and it sees an animal that looks like it's unhealthy, they're going to go for it. You know, somebody that's not missing a step. So, yeah, that's why you need to weigh your birds regularly, every day if possible, and you need to check their poop every day. Yeah, what are you saying, Jazzbird? You have to become a poopologist. Checking that poop every day, and it will vary some. So don't get freaked out if it looks funny in the morning. As long as by the end of the day you're seeing some normal poop, you're okay.
Yeah, poopology is a really, really important lesson you should take when you have birds. It tells you a lot.
It's not glamorous, but it is important.
At least it doesn't have the odor that mammalian poop does. It's not like if you had to examine your dog's poop or your cat's poop, that would really be horrifying. But in most cases, their poop does not have an odor. If it does, there may be a problem. Or you might have fed them turmeric or something like that. There are some spices they cannot digest, and it will come out smelling horrible. So I know some people who think that turmeric, which is the big thing right now,
bird is important. Yeah,
there are some people out there that think that's the cure-all to everything. You know, every year there's something new. But don't try it on your birds. It's not going to hurt them, but it's not going to smell good. Some of them process it okay, but most don't. Doesn't hurt them. Kind of like when if you cook up fresh beets and eat them, and what comes out is the next morning makes it look like you've you've been attacked by somebody from a horror movie. That's the same kind of thing. Right, Lorelai? Does Lorelai agree? See, Lorelai won't go after KK if she's in my lap, as long as she's taking over this territory.
Yeah, Lorelai needs to be Daddy's little girl, and then she'll behave.
Yep, what's the matter? You okay, Pep? Well, hi. That's just Jazz. Just Jasmine. Come on up, Jazz.
A laughing party on the floor. Amanda appeared. Oh no, he was under the chair.
Or at least behind it.
Supposed to get a couple of chairs tomorrow. They're kind of like the table in the.
Now Jasmine comes over, but I wondered where Amanda, and I just supposed he walked out of the picture, but he hid under the chair.
All the birds are converging on Don.
That never happens. Well, this one actually is up here to try to get preened by Lorelai. See? That's a reason. There goes Lorelai preening her.
It's
so
the preen queen.
Jazz came up for that. She wanted me to pet her a little bit too, but main thing is to get preened by Lorelai. So where you going, Mander? Too bad you guys can't. I don't think you can see him prancing. He's prancing right now. What are you doing down there?
Handsome when he prances. What a lovely
Yeah. I have, if I can find it after the move, I have something where I can move that camera around a bit, but I don't have it right now. And then I've got to set it up so that I can see that on my watch.
Actually, we have a pretty good angle on all of them. So now we can see Manda sneaking again into the direction of the chair. And KK is under that one cage. So we have a pretty good angle on everything.
Oh, good. I was hoping that would work out. I know that I haven't been doing the greatest job because I've been, this is a new socialization area. It's not even close to finished, and I have to keep my eyes on them. So I end up moving the camera. I'd hold it one way, I'd be pointing it at an empty cage, and I just looked back at some of the video and said, I'm going to have to set this up. Now, I don't know if you can see him, but he's got a lightsaber over there.
So we have a question in chat from Elite Londo. How do you train your birds?
Well, that's a big question because there's a lot of different things that you train them to do.
Yeah, but your basic training concept is ABA, Applied Behavior Analysis.
That's what I use. It's like reward training, but on steroids. Reward training is a small portion of ABA. And I'll give you an example why we use ABA and not just reward training. You don't reward a child for sticking his hand in a flame on the burner on the stove. You don't reward that. That would be stupid, okay? So there are a lot of different things. We do use positive reinforcement, in which you're rewarding a particular behavior to either maintain or increase the behavior. But we also use negative reinforcement, which is taking something away in order to maintain or increase the behavior. Then there's negative punishment. That's when you're taking something away to reduce a behavior or extinguish it, to get rid of it. And then there's positive. What are you guys doing down there? Positive punishment is where you add something to reduce or extinguish a behavior. A lot of people do that with baby, puppies. They'll take a newspaper and hit them with a newspaper. That really doesn't work. It makes them afraid of you. And it might actually be more likely to produce more of what you don't want than actually do and help with it. But it is positive punishment because you're adding something to reduce the behavior. And that's the one we use the least, but we do use it. You would use positive punishment if a bird was flying into a dangerous situation. Okay. You're not generally going to reward a bird for flying into a window or for getting near a burning stove, which you shouldn't have around your bird anyway. But you know, a flighted bird, you have to be careful with leaving the stove on. Lorelei, generally you don't preen under the wing. What's wrong with you? Have you lost your mind? She can preen her own wings. It's her head she needs preened. Yeah.
Amanda has disappeared again, and KK is staring at the wall.
KK's working on. She's been working on lightsabers over there. KK is working. KK is working on lightsabers now.
Oh yeah, and once we've talked about training, we can talk about KK.
Yeah.
Yes.
As the title today suggests.
So
they are new.
When I'm training them at first, like with this one over here, the first training she got was how to put her beak right next to my face. He or she, we're not saying for sure. He or she, when I was giving her the medicine the first time, after the trip from Alaska, I put my face right up to the beak, okay? And what I'm doing there is, I don't suggest everyone do this. I'm not afraid of being bitten, so it doesn't, and I don't mean that in a philosophical way. I mean, I'm just not afraid of it. So KK picked that right up. And so the first training, and whenever you're with a bird, you're being trained and you're training. Anytime the bird can see or hear you, there's training going on, okay? So if you think of it that way, you're a little more cautious about what you do. But the first thing I will train a bird to do when I'm getting into a training session is to target, which means basically to follow my fingers at first, have a sunflower seed or whatever they like, their favorite treat, which you've figured out, and that they only get at that time, and their beak is here. You move it like that, they have to come over and take it. And then slowly you put your hand farther away, they have to come and take it. Then they come and take it over here. And they come and take it over here. And they take it over here. And they take it down there. And before long, you're running them all the way down a perch and all the way back. And then you can get them off the perch and onto you to get it. And then so what you're training the bird to do is to follow your lead. And a lot of people want to teach to step up first, but that's the wrong thing to do, because in step up, you still have to get them to follow your lead, okay? So start with that first. And then you eventually use target for a bunch of other things like open the wing. If I touch right here, that's the target. It's open the wing, okay? Open the beak. Open the beak. Lorelei's gonna fight me on that one. Open the beak is finger on the upper beak, okay? Pressing a little bit below, that means step. Open your beak. So right now she doesn't know why I'm doing that. It's in the middle of everything. Hi, good girl. You did that. Good girl. That's my good girl. Yeah. So ABA I highly recommend you learning the discipline. You can learn that from, I mean, this is not a paid promotion, okay? Animal Training 101 online. That's where you want to take it, from Dr. Zellig's. And you can watch for 20 minutes and come back to it later and watch another 20 minutes and get in a whole 2 or 3 hour episode in a couple of days, or you can sit down and watch it all at once. I did it in the aviary because I'd already, by the time I got to Dr. Zellig's course, I was already well into working with this stuff, and I still learned a ton from her class. So, but you need to know a little about the individual species too. They have their quirks. If you know that, you can work with them. There's people who try to stop them from chewing things up. That's impossible. I mean, well, I'm not going to say it's completely impossible, but if you did get a bird to stop chewing, you've made them neurotic, because that's what they have to do. They have to chew things up to make yes, and that's what they're going to do. So we learn to divert that behavior. That's the other side of training. Rather than training a particular behavior, you're training them to do certain things in the midst of daily life. If they're chewing on the curtains, you get them to chew on something else. You're not going to get them to stop wanting to chew. You have to divert that attention to something they would prefer to chew. And that's all part of ABA. Hi. Hi, KK. What are you saying?
Don, we have a question about the perch Sugar is sitting on. I think it was Dirty Birds Inc. who was interested in that perch, where one can purchase such a thing. You know, the whole table.
I would love to be able to answer that question, but it was donated to us. Mm-hmm. So I don't know the brand of it, and there's no brand name on it anywhere.
And I just wanted to say, but because some people are asking if Sugar is okay. Yeah, she's perfectly fine. She's just playing statue at the moment. She actually can move. She even can play if she wants to. Usually she doesn't like when a camera is set up or someone is watching her doing it. So we have had funny moments where she wasn't aware of that a camera was actually videoing her, and Don was at her cage, and then he went away, and she thought nobody is watching, and suddenly she started to play. So that's true. So.
But don't worry, when she wants to do something, then she'll just go and do it. She won't hold back.
And she does respond to the visual cue when I put my fingers together and go like this. She'll come over and get her beak rubbed. So, and you don't always have to use vocal cues. You don't have to say what to do. You can just give hand signals too. So, I saw a lot of that at the what they used to call the San Diego Wild Animal Park. Now they call it the Safari Park. I don't think they were really thinking when they gave that name, but I've seen both there, and they had a great team from up in Los Angeles and Hollywood. They had a team running their bird show, and those people knew what they were doing because they did all the bird effects and a lot of other animal effects for movies. So they had it down for sure. But you could see the visual cues where they would make just a hand motion and the bird would say something, and then the oral cues too. Like there was a bird that they used to bring out. It was a cockatoo they'd bring out, and the trainer would say, "What's 3 + 4?" and the bird would say 7, and they'd say, "Well, what's 2 + 3?" and the bird would say 5. And I remember watching that, and then some woman goes, "Well, they're just mimicking." And he said, "That's not mimicking. The bird is not saying what I'm saying." And she kept on about it. So finally, the trainer looked at her, and everything she said, he simply repeated. He just stood there, and everything she said, he said the same thing back until she finally stopped talking, and then he went on with the show. Everybody else got what he was doing. He was mimicking her. But what the bird was doing was triggering on the last word. So depending on which number he said last, the bird would give the response it had learned to give to that number. In other words, into that sound. Because to them, it's not a number, it's a sound. Now, Lorelei, are we going to start that again? Lorelei.
Oh no, endangered species of shoes.
Lorelei. Hey, Lorelei. Hey.
And Don, by the way, you could wave for the cat. Oh, maybe now the people can see you, because there were people in chat saying, "Oh, you're actually there." They thought you were behind the camera because you are hidden behind all the birds. No, everything fine. Oh, look at the Manda. He's somehow the funniest part today because he's running on the floor.
You want to come up? No, you don't. Okay. When he wants to come up, he comes right under my shoe, but right now he's having more fun playing. You having fun playing down there, big boy? Commander?
Lots of walking.
Boy. You're still up there waiting for me, huh? Okay, I'm sorry.
So
Yeah, ABA has a lot of different aspects to it. There's the direct training, and you want to train your bird because they need to have their minds engaged. And if you're not training them, you're not engaging their minds. But there's also behaviors you don't want, and you have to make agreements with them that they're going to do a different behavior that still fulfills that inner need they have. And that's a different side of ABA. So the whole package makes it so you can sit in a room with a bunch of cockatoos and everybody gets along for the most part. For the most part, I think Lorelei went after my shoes because I was paying too much attention to Sugar. Was I paying too much attention to Sugar? Was I?
Cheryl Kincaid says, I don't think I've ever seen Manda on the floor.
No, he does it, but he hasn't been on, I don't think he's done it on camera. But he'll run around here on the floor, yeah.
I have the feeling that Manda likes to be on the floor, but just indoors. So when you're outside in the aviary, he's mostly up on the perches. But when we remember back to the old hill house, where the birds were also inside a socialization room, Manda has a play corner there in the socialization room on the floor.
Yeah, he used to like to get into a little nook or cranny somewhere and then play there like it was nesting or something.
Yeah, here I don't know if he's found a spot yet, but he certainly does roam around the floor a lot.
And the topic in chat is at the moment being bitten by birds and the pain tolerance towards it.
Yeah, we have our own instinctual response to that kind of thing, and it's difficult not to reinforce the bite by loudly proclaiming "ouch." I think the worst bite, I'm trying to remember the worst bite I had. I think, I can't swear, I think it was salamander. And I mean, as far as the most painful bite. And it wasn't, I didn't say anything. It wasn't, I'm not sure how I stopped myself. I didn't make a sound, but I noticed that he had hit an artery. So there was quite a bit of blood coming out. So I didn't want any blood on him. So I had to put him back in the cage with my other hand, close the door, go and get a bandage on my arm and come right back and take him out again. And the key that I understood there is that when you get bit, you want to show that it didn't change the way you feel about them. If you still have you still care about them, and you kind of let it all go in the past. And if you can do that, you might get nipped again, you might not, but the point is, once they realize the nipping doesn't have any effect, they're going to stop it. Not a normal behavior for them anyway. It's aberrant behavior. So
yeah, and the thing to remember is when they bite, they're not doing it to be nasty. Like there's a reason. We just don't necessarily know what it is, but it's not meanness.
Yeah, we're taught in ABA that it serves we use the word function, but it's the same thing. There's a reason for it. There's a function. It serves a function in their life. Maybe I know one person, I've tried to get this through their head, but some people will not listen. But there was a Moluccan that kept nipping this woman on the face. Now, it wasn't biting hard, but it would nip, and then she would put it in the cage. And I said, do you realize that you are probably teaching that bird, or the bird has made a deal with you that when the bird bites your face, it goes to its cage? If you want the bird to stop biting your face, I suggest you put it on a perch that's not really, doesn't really care to be on, where it's kind of bored for 2 minutes. Then take it up and play with it and then put it back in its cage so it doesn't relate the bite to going back to the cage. Now, this wouldn't get it. And And that stuff goes on all the time. I don't know how many individual behaviors I've been trained to do. Behaviors that the bird likes, and it's okay for me. So it's like the elevator thing. A bird walks up, I put my foot down, they come up. They started that. I mean, I lifted my foot a couple of times, and it's become a thing. It's been going on for years. KK figured it out the first day. Which I guess we should. We should say what
talk about KK because we have news.
Yeah. Yes, I was talking to another rescue in Nevada, and they had KK at one point. And I mentioned that I didn't think KK was male because KK vibrated. And I got the response that, well, I've seen males do that. I have not. In all the time I've been around, I've never seen a male vibrate. So anyway, they sent me a certificate where they'd done the blood test, and it shows that KK is a boy.
Good boy, KK.
So KK is one very confused bird.
A little gender confused, but first thing when I come out in the morning, it's still dark, and I hear KK going, KK, KK.
Yeah, KK is certainly a sweet soul, and he has vibrated for one time, but well, he's new at the moment, and maybe it was just a little bit of kind of overstimulation. So let's just observe him a little bit more closely. And
yeah, I guess he thought he'd just do something a bit different, seeing as he was in a new place. But Don, you've seen him do a tail flare since then, so.
Yeah, he did one tail flash. Yeah, I've never seen a female do a tail flash. I've seen them go like this with their tail, but not spread it out.
Yeah, but then you never saw a male vibrate either. So,
yeah.
I know. So when you take him to the vet, will you see if you can get another DNA test and see if that one agrees with the last one?
Oh yeah, it's not much, like $40 for a test, $20 if you do it yourself. But just a drop of blood. They can do it on the feathers, but I don't think the feathers are as accurate. So yeah, I forgot to put paper down there, didn't I? Well, I'll be cleaning the carpet, but that's the only spot. That's the only spot I have to clean. Everything else, all the spots are covered.
Yeah, KK tricked us, little boy.
Yeah.
And Cozzy chasing him is just because Cozzy likes to chase.
They said that he bites. Now I've been observing him now for a couple of weeks, and if he's asleep, if he's got his foot up and his eyes are almost closed, that's about the only time he'll jerk his head around like he's going to nip at you. So I think they didn't even know when he was asleep. But when he gets one foot up and his eyes
Amanda
closed,
is peering out under Don's chair. Can you see it on the right side? Now he's gone again, but his little face was peeking. Oh, it's peeking out again.
Gotta look out for Amanda. So cute.
It's on the right side from us on Don's chair, where sometimes Amanda's head peeks out. So
I just saw it. So cute.
It's again.
Oh, Amanda. So precious. Oh my. Oh well, speaking of Amanda, this is something that he used to do, and Dirty Birds has a question for Don about a bird who likes to love on your hand. What can you do to stop that?
well, Mander was one of those. Do we know how old the bird is?
33, I think.
Okay. All right. If it's an older bird, then there's two things you have to be. You have to be careful not to upset the bird by like pushing them away during that circumstance. So you have to divert their attention to something else. So if there is a treat or something that you can get them over to, what I would say is to take the bird and move it over somewhere and sit it somewhere. And once it's sitting there, say good bird and give it a treat. You don't want to give the treat too close to the behavior though, because you don't want to make it so the bird does it for the treat. Any way you can divert the attention to something else, if there's a particular toy the bird likes to play with, something that you can get to divert the bird's attention. Basically, you're talking about differential reinforcement. So when the bird does that kind of behavior, you want to get them into something else, but you don't want to do it in such a way that you're now programming them to do that behavior to get the other effect. With salamander, I would pick him up and put him on a perch and then talk to him where he couldn't reach me. And that was right around adolescence though. So he eventually got out of the behavior. At 33, we're not dealing with the adolescent behavior. So
I think the bird thinks that Dirty Birds is his mate.
oh, well, of course, yeah, that quite often that's the case.
So how would you reduce the problems of the bird being mated to you?
You can't stop a bird from being mated to you. But you, as you say, reduce the problems. Again, you have to use differential reinforcement. So whenever they exhibit that kind of behavior, you need to redirect them to something else. Preferably something that will get their minds off of it. Trying to think of a humorous way.
Says, my bird had a mate, I guess a birdie mate before, but now obviously it has turned towards the human.
Yeah, it's sad when they do that because, you know, there's it's a need that they have to fulfill some way, but you don't want to increase it. You're looking to punish that behavior, as in reduce or extinguish it. You're not going to be able to extinguish it; it's built in, so you need to reduce it. And again, if you can play with your bird, get on the floor and play with toys. But you need an interval between what happens, that behavior, and the other behavior you're offering. Otherwise, you may make it. The best example I have of that is the lady who had the bird that loved to have its beak shake. This was a military macaw. It liked to have its beak shook hard, and then wanted you to yell at it. That's what the bird wanted. So she thought she'd figured out a way to stop the bird from biting her because it would run over and go after her toes. But actually, the bird was running and going after her toes because that's the easiest way to get her to shake his beak and yell at him. So if you could take your bird and put it on a perch and you walk out of the room for a minute, you come back in, depending on how well the bird sits on the perch. Once the bird stopped that behavior and on the perch, take and play with it for a minute or two on the floor with toys.
And you also want to reduce petting, particularly anywhere that's not the head, and don't pet for too many minutes at a time, and also avoid giving them hot food, which can stimulate mating.
Yes, that's all true. For all things that need to be done as well. It's a tough one because you don't want the bird to feel rejected. That does not help. But you don't want the bird to start getting into that pattern constantly. And it can become a constant pattern if you're not careful. I worked a lot with salamander to stop that behavior, and with Babalu as well. Sal's not mated to me, but Bob is, so it was harder with Bob.
Yeah, and the thing with petting is it's like it is hard not to do it, and you kind of you catch yourself doing it by accident. But the main thing is it's not like saying you can never pet them, but it's just you don't want to do it for more than about 5 minutes at a time, and you want to break it up with other activities like playing. So if you get them worn out playing frisbee or tug of war or whatever they like to play, then you can intersperse it so they're not getting fixated on your hand, basically.
Yeah, with Bob, he got about a 20-minute break. The other thing that was critical with Bob was having a camera set up, because sometimes I would be doing a video for an actual episode, and he would get into that behavior. And so I was able to look back over those videos, and I got to the point where I could recognize a certain look on his face that would be there 2 or 3 minutes before he would go into that behavior. So then after that, I started watching for that certain look, and he kind of puts his head kind of like this, holds it steady, and he kind of goes like this a couple of times, and that's the beginning of the behavior. So I catch that and I divert him right away, and then I got rid of it. He doesn't do it anymore. I would say it took a month or two to get it fully stopped. Once in a while, he'll still get that look on his face, and I just go right back into diverting his attention. And that's called resurgence, when the behavior comes back. So you got to expect it. It's going to happen. But it's maybe once or twice a year now I see that behavior come back.
Don,
and
Babalu must have heard that you mentioned him, that you mentioned his name, because when you started to talk about Bob, suddenly in the background I could hear Bob shouting.
Yes. He wants to be part of everything. Salamander, you're going to be shaking that camera.
Poor Bob. Severe FOMO.
Salamander.
And KayKay being cute on that.
Good boy.
On that cage.
Good boy. Good boy. Well, you're getting low to the ground now, aren't you, kid?
Oh man, that's a good boy. He was playing with one of Cecil's rattle balls. And let's see what he's doing now. But he has fun on the floor.
He was messing with the tripod. That's where he was going, and I had to get him out of there. That's tone of voice work.
I guess that was Peaches who told him that. Being on the floor, messing with tripods.
Yeah, the floor is prime real estate.
Mm.
We have a new contest, but I can't think of a way to do this on YouTube. So it's going to be for Patreon. I want to tell you about it, because if you join Patreon for $1 or more, and we're doing a contest, there's 2 prizes. One is a coffee cup. That's for somebody who figures out kind of what we're doing. And another one is either a pillow or a towel, or objects that equal, $40 or less. If you don't want a pillow or a towel, any of our merch like that. And the reason I can't do it with YouTube is because they require they limit the dimensions of the pictures you put up. They limit the type of picture. I usually upload in an Apple format. They won't take it. So what I'm going to be doing is putting a little memoji, a picture of myself, and it's going to change around, from time to time. And the contest is to figure out, first of all, what I'm doing, and then to name each of these little emojis. So give me the name of them, okay? So if you can name them all, if you're the first one to name all of them, then you win the big prize. If you figure out what I'm doing, specifically, why these emoji are there, then you get a coffee cup. So right now, that's just going to be for people on Patreon, unless I can find some way to do it. The problem is I do not like having to try to make a photo just the way YouTube says to do it. And then they tell me what format and how big it can be and all that. It's just too much of a hassle to try to do that every day with a couple of pictures. So
yeah,
so
I just posted the Patreon link, but I also announced that there will something coming up for all the people on YouTube, so don't worry.
Yes,
so
there will be.
For everyone is something in it, but yeah, if you want to try out Patreon, you get access to our Vimeo videos and to our meetings and everything. So there are some things which is, you know, overlapping with the YouTube membership, but yeah, we try to give everyone access to insights who donates to us. And we try to give everyone something on every platform that helps us.
The YouTube membership is new too, so we're not sure what they're doing with it yet, and they're not sure. So we've been on Patreon a long time, and so I feel a little more comfortable doing something there because I'm never quite sure what YouTube's going to do from week to week, but we will definitely have a contest for you guys too. So. But if you want to go to Patreon, which you just saw the link of, now this is going to be quite the adventure for people who like to figure out things that are. I would say that this is going to be one of the more difficult things. It's going to take a month, for a month or more, for all these little icons, these little emojis to be up there. And then you're going to see them changing fairly regularly. And just figuring out why they're changing is where that coffee cup comes in. And the other part, yes, you will get hints after a month. We're going to run this for a month on Patreon. So if you join Patreon in the next month, then you'll be in the contest. We're going to cut it off. Today is what? I don't even know what today is. The 15th. So we're going to cut it off on the 16th of next month for people who join Patreon. So the contest is only for people who join in the next month and for people who are already on Patreon. So then after that, we'll see how long it takes. Somebody's got to figure it out. Laurel, I could, but she won't tell.
If only they could talk.
Where has KayKay disappeared?
Right over here on the floor.
Oh, now it's reappearing.
Hi, KayKay. KayKay says, I've always enjoyed the contest that you had to really think about. Took a while to figure out. So, what'd you say? And it doesn't matter how much you sign up for on Patreon, $1, $2, $5, whatever. You just have to be on Patreon because that's where the pictures are going to show up. So they got their first one today. And of course, if you join a week from now, you can look back at everything that's there, so you can see all the pictures with our little emojis on them, and try to figure out why. Lorelai knows, don't you? But you aren't telling. She's sneezing instead of telling. Since we got here, the dryness of the air is definitely making them sneeze more. Right.
Did you do KayKay's Speak the other day, Don?
What was that?
Did you do KayKay's Speak the other day?
Yep.
How did that go?
Went fine. Obviously, KayKay has had this done before. I was talking to the rescue that had him earlier, and that was back in 2016. And he definitely has scissor beak, and apparently Michael wasn't doing anything about it. So you can't leave that go too long. They can't eat. It's hard to eat when your jaw is, a half an inch to the side.
Yes,
I
it's
think
the
it's
kind of
okay.
thing where it looks so horrible and scary that if you don't know what you're doing, you'd be like, ah, I'm not touching it.
Yeah, if it hadn't been for my training in jewelry, I wouldn't feel secure doing that kind of thing. But it's like cutting obsidian. You just have to be careful. Hello, knocking on the wall and saying hello.
That sounds after a bird.
See,
I watched
that's a boy
to-
behavior. See, knocking on things is a boy thing.
Yes, it is. But saying hello,
KK.
but saying hello is a special additive to that one. Knock, knock, hello.
Hello.
KayKay is a character. What the only bird I've ever seen that likes long pieces of wood, he intentionally makes them, and then he picks them up and scratches his neck with them. And you're a good boy, KayKay. KayKay's a
I think
good bird.
the only one who might be confused is KK now because of our behavior. So you're a good boy. No, you are a good girl. You're a good boy, and probably like some human has no idea about it.
I guess that's why good bird is useful, because it works for both.
Yep.
Yeah, I use good bird as both my final bridge and the intermediate bridge. Just I say it lightly as an intermediate.
So
And a
where has
bridge is
Manda disappeared? Is he under the chair again?
Must be. I don't see him.
Is he nesting down there? Hope not.
Probably. What are you doing, Mander? What are you doing down there?
Mander, peekaboo, Mander.
Mander. KayKay is always scratching himself again. He is such a
KK
character.
was having fun back there in the corner.
He likes to scratch his face with the stick. Probably a little itchy here because he's been up in wet and cold Alaska. Now he's down here in dry and hot. It's not that hot right now, but he's in the desert. That's a big jump from Alaska to the desert. Isn't it, big boy? The tough one yesterday was getting Roman and doing his nails. Getting Romeo out of his cage I finally had to towel him, get him in and put him on, and then get him into the bathroom here because they've got the master bathroom. So I got him in there, let him loose on the ground, and then got him up on my hand. Then he bit my arm. I put him down on the floor, and then picked him up again and got him on the perch. Again, that's what I do with a bite, is I'll put them aside for a second and pick them right back up. Got him up there, and then he let me do his nails. You never can figure out Romeo, but he let me do the nails after that, no problem. And then I went to carry him back into the other room, and he flew off onto the floor, and then I had to tell him to get him back to his cage because he didn't know where he was. He doesn't know the layout that well yet. He's not the fastest learner. Yeah, he's okay. He asked me to pet him last night, so I petted him for about 5 minutes.
He's a sweetheart.
He is. He just gets afraid. But he didn't bleed. He had to cut quite a bit off of his nails. He didn't bleed at all. I had to shorten his beak about 1/4 of an inch, about 1 millimeter. But all of that went no problem. It's just moving him from place to place that's a big issue. Getting him, once he's on the perch, he pretty much does what you want him to do. But to take him off the perch and get him back to his cage. But I'm going to start getting him outside this way too. I'm going to put him in a towel and take him out and put him in the aviary. And then when we do go out, we won't be going out for a while. Let me see. I think our weather is going to be low 60s for Low 60s and upper 50s. They're predicting rain next week too. Well, they call it rain here. Yeah, it's not really much water, but it's rain. They call it rain. It's a little drizzle. And I got to call somebody. A few of the shingles when the wind comes through here, blew a few shingles off the roof. So I can't seem to get a hold of the handyman. So I got to get a roofer out here.
Shuggy, are you in a sulk?
Chug.
Because Don was today already in the street with all the drives in, and right, Shuggy, with McDonald's and stuff, and nothing had he brought home to the Shug bird, not even taking it with him.
No, I can make her French fries though. She likes the ones I make here.
Oh, I'm just joking.
I can though. She likes the French fries, don't you, girl?
It's like she knew you were there in the French fry alley.
Yeah,
No,
I just had to go get rid of cardboard today. I just had a pile of cardboard from boxes again. So
Don, is there any house warranty?
I don't think houses come with. Oh, houses come with a warranty.
Yeah, you have to pay. You have to pay for it, but they do. Yeah, I have a house warranty on here.
Nice.
Doesn't cover the roof though.
Oh.
So it just needs a few shingles put back on right now. I know it's going to need a new roof in a few years, but they say it's on its last legs. But
I'm not so sure if Cecil will be happy to put up new roof tiles. I expect more when you have the birds on the roof than I
think Cecil can help take the old ones off. I'm not sure about putting the new ones on.
Yeah, no. Well, there you are, KK, playing with toys.
Is Manda still missing in action?
He started to figure out that Manda has disappeared on the floor, so now he can walk a bit. No idea. Manda. Oh, KK. Does KK want to come up? Oh, let's see. What a good boy.
Yeah, KK sees Lorelei up here, and Lorelei
he was stretching and saying, "Oh no."
Not that bird. Not that
girl.
one.
Of course, Cecil is a very helpful boy in every way.
Well, I was just thinking now that KK's done some shoe biting, maybe Lorelei will feel more pleasantly disposed towards him. Maybe now's a good time to go and make friendies.
Yeah, it's not always.
From her.
It's a little bit difficult to integrate someone into the flock. So this time it was actually pretty easy because most birds just welcomed KK and we're just fine with him being there.
I have to rest my arm, kid.
Oh, that was fun.
Was that?
All parrots reacting. What has happened?
Jazz did what was like a partial rouse or something. I don't know. She jumped around a bit, and then Lucy jumped, and then Lorelei jumped, and
everyone was kind of alert.
Everybody jumped.
Oh, now KK is interested again.
Hi, KK. What you doing down there, KK?
Thinking about coming up.
Yeah, I was looking at those blankets and the pillows today. It's like, those are. I was out there looking at our merchandise. Amy's done a wonderful job on that stuff. There's just some great stuff out there. As soon as I figure
Have you ordered something?
No, I haven't yet. It's for for ordering, I mean, you told me how to do it, but ordering as somebody who actually, what's the word for it? Who's supposed to get the
account owner.
Account owner's discount. Yeah, that's. They do have great products. They don't have the best interface for people trying to do the work, but we have somebody who can get around that. Amy's really good at getting those things done. So, and they're all pretty, aren't they? Yeah. Even Babalu's boxers.
Yeah, we have Babalu boxes, but also a lot of other stuff to wear, like T-shirts and so. So maybe you look in every now and then because there are things added. So we have put up what's new on the merch site, so you can be updated. I myself have so far a peachy pillow.
A peachy pillow.
Yeah.
Pillow.
Yeah, when you get a couch, you can get a peachy pillow.
Yeah, it's really nice to have a peachy pillow. It really helps to get motivated in the morning and stuff like that.
And then you can feel like the peach is sitting on the couch with you.
Mm.
Yeah, she did a lot of that. Oh, girl. Yeah, it's a beautiful pillow. I'm going to need to get that one, aren't I? I could win the contest. Oh, no. It doesn't work that way, does it?
So, just Mando having disappeared.
I can feel him underneath the chair. I don't know what he's doing, but he's down there.
He's not the one who will chew the chair, right?
Yeah, it's not the one that's going to destroy it.
As far as I know, he does chew things, but usually he just chews paper and cardboard. Supposed to get 2 chairs tomorrow. It'll go in here, but old style chairs like that, the old style round table out there.
The Mander.
Yeah, if it had been Bob that had disappeared under the chair, we wouldn't have left him this long.
No, I would have gone right out to get him out from under there because I know what he's going to do. He goes right for those ropes that hold it together. I bought an extra set of ropes just in case, but I really don't want to be threading this thing. It looks like about a half-hour job just trying to thread it. I have more important things to do, toy making and that kind of thing, right, Lorelei?
Oh, that's the idea from TTH is funny. So he says the blanket is fluttering. Perhaps he's spinning. That's a funny idea. Amanda spinning under the chair.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, you can see he's working under there. Oh, Amanda digging into China.
The chair hasn't collapsed under Don, so we can assume that Manda isn't eating the chair.
Yeah.
I was sitting on I rarely drank anything in my life, but I think I had drinking a beer or something, saying at someone's bar in their house, and the bar stool broke. Yeah, I remember that one. Crashing to the floor.
Yikes.
No, it didn't get hurt. I just
is
laid
that
there
Amanda
laughing.
Beak?
I just laid there laughing.
Yeah, it's Amanda. It's Amanda. There he is. And it disappears again.
He's doing his side shuffle now. He's doing the moonwalk.
He is a funny boy.
Well, the other time I ever had a chair incident that I recall, I was working at a computer job, and the lady thought that the chair that was behind me was in my way, so she moved it. And I tried to sit down in it. I leaned back and whoop, I was on the floor.
That's a classic.
Are you okay? And I'm just laughing. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just flat on my back.
Happens.
Well, these chairs I'm getting are wood, but I don't think they can chew them. They're hardwood. So.
And there comes Mander. Mander. And walking away. He really doing the side shuffle. Oh, my Mander.
Yeah, he's full of energy today. What did you put
Pretty
in his
bird.
mash this morning?
Mm.
I don't
Has he got
know.
some of your caffeine cookie?
No, he hasn't got any of that.
Even Sugar is watching. Pretty bird.
Pretty bird. Well, I picked you up, but it's about time for us to end this meeting, aren't it?
Mm.
We're having such
Amanda,
fun.
what are you doing? Oh, he's disappearing again under the chair. And KK having a nice scratch.
KK, what a
Scratch
character.
and scratch. And someone is a pretty bird.
Definitely a different personality. He's been with a lot of people. He's been with a lot of people. He has a lot of things he almost says, like he was working on them, and then they moved him somewhere else or something.
What is he saying all from I'm sorry and KK?
He says hello, hi, hello, KK, and then he's got other things I don't recognize yet.
Oh, we will find out.
Sounds like he's mumbling, but I don't think he is. I just don't understand what he's saying.
I think when cockatoos mumble and you just carefully listen and then try to reinforce certain phrases, then you at the end you see they probably build full sentences and their grammar was better than certain US presidents once. So
better than Calvin Coolidge. Yeah. Was that story about Calvin Coolidge, about the lady who got a chance to sit next to him, and her friend said, "You won't get 3 words out of him," and she's chattering along. She's the chatterbox. She's chattering along. And she says, "Well, my friend says I won't get 3 words out of you," and he looked at her and he said, "You lose." Yeah, I know. Well, I know.
Yeah.
No one knows if that story is true, but he was known to not speak much, so, which I think is probably an advantage in most people in that position, because who really wants to hear him talk anyway? Right, Lorelei? I'd rather hear you talk. Can you just say baby girl? Baby girl? Oh, don't sneeze on me. Say baby girl.
So Don in chat is just, it looks like you wear a metal hat, so.
Yeah.
You're the football.
Because I'm a pastafarian. So. He's definitely doing something under the chair. I don't know what, but I can hear him down there, feel him down there working. What are you doing down there?
Secret, top secret.
Lorelei, we got to say goodbye to everybody. It's that time. Yeah.
Yeah, let's say goodbye.
Well, thanks for coming.
Oh, yeah. Someone is still asking.
Coming.
Yeah, it's official. It's a Mr. KK. KK is a good boy.
It's a good boy, a Mr. KK.
Well, it's official until we do another test that confirms that one.
At the moment, at the moment we are confused. That's why it's gender confusion. We have test results which say it's a boy, but sometimes it behaves like a girl. So, and now Manda is out again to say goodbye. Oh, that's great. Thanks, Manda. Pretty bird, Lucy. So have all a great time.
You looking for the elevator? No elevator yet. I got to turn the camera off, which means I got to get up. isn't as easy as it used to be when I was a teenager. Imagine that. Thank you guys for coming. Don't forget there is a contest. So, and great prizes, right? Great prizes.
Thanks for the stream, Don.
Oh, thank you for being here and supporting us, keeping everything going.